Thank you so much for joining us today and being here at our Q&A stage. So I'm going to get us started off with a few questions, and then we'll be able to throw it out to the audience for any questions you might have. We'll have somebody with a microphone, so I will just point you out, and then we'll be able to get your questions. So without further ado, thank you so much for joining us today. I know it's a long journey to come all the way here. So the first question I wanted to ask you is, obviously, public awareness has been growing about AGI over the past few years, but how do you think that it has evolved from what it initially was to what the understanding is today?
Sorry, I am not sure I got the question.
So how do you feel that the public understanding of AGI has evolved over the past few years?
Okay. So yes, it's a very good situation for us that indeed, if we would talk to some public like even 10 years ago, it would be difficult to deliver the understanding why AGI is important and what it is. But now everyone, or maybe not everyone, but much more people know what AGI is. At least they heard this. But the understanding of AGI may be a little bit different from what the AGI community used to understand by it, and there are different events going on, like the invention of ChatGPT, which actually shaped the understanding of AGI in the wide audience. So we understand AGI a little bit different in terms that what we understand by AGI is it should solve a wide variety of tasks and achieve a wide variety of goals in a wide range of environments. It kind of works for such systems as ChatGPT, but actually there are still very deep differences with it. Like ChatGPT can do a lot of things, but it cannot solve very novel problems, and that's why we still see the need to help people learn the differences. So what is understood by AGI widely, maybe not precisely what AGI really is. So there is still a way to go with this understanding.
Yeah. Right. When I was asking people and random people around what AGI is, even several years ago, they couldn't answer this question. And actually, we are on the way to understand massively what AGI is. So people in the world understand it better, but not enough. And big thanks to Ben Goertzel, who popularized this term, and he did a great job since 204, I think. So yeah, now people around know just that this term exists, and it is great.
Amazing. And I was just wondering, we have our scholarship program here at Web Summit Rio, and we have a lot of students who join us, and we foster that next generation of innovation. So would you have any advice to students who are looking to enter into the world of AGI? How deep of an understanding would they need to have before they kind of step into this world? And any general advice you would have?
Well, as for AGI for students, it's a very interesting question. I tried to teach courses on AGI like 10 or 8 years ago, and well, it was maybe a little bit premature because there was always questions like how to apply it and so on. But right now there are some requests from different universities to introduce such courses. So it is a really important process because this upcoming generations will participate not only in creation of AGI, but in life together with these creations. So hopefully different universities will introduce such courses, and students will be taught this stuff.
Yeah, actually, our company, SingularityNET, will be working on these courses, as Alexey says. So, yeah, basically, everyone should understand that this topic is not for 1 year. This topic is long term. It is for decades. And it is the thing that is definitely, this job will not disappear in the nearest decades. So, well, I strongly suggest everyone to know more about AGI, to get on the wave of these discussions, to watch YouTube videos, to attend Web Summit and other conferences as much as possible, because this world is changing dramatically.
Well, as it is for decades or not will depend on how fast will it arrive, but it is another question.
And you were mentioning in your first answer about ChatGPT and how we still have a way to go. So do you kind of firmly believe ChatGPT is not enough in itself to power AGI? We need more than that.
Yes, it's a good point to elaborate on what AGI can and cannot do. So as I mentioned, a common definition of AGI is the ability to solve a variety of tasks, complex tasks in a wide range of environments. And ChatGPT is seemingly capable of doing this, but it can solve the tasks which were in the training set. So it is trained on a very vast amount of data, and that's why it looks like general enough. But I would still call it not an AGI, but possibly general narrow intelligence, in terms that narrow intelligence has capabilities of solving efficiently different tasks, but these tasks should be known in advance. But what we understand by AGI is the capability of for real creativity, for solving new scientific problems and so on. ChatGPT works by processing the data from bottom to up, and it does it in one pass. And it actually caches, memorizes, and combines the data which was in the training set. This training set is huge, and that's why it can do incredible stuff. But it still interpolates between data points in a very advanced but still simple way. And if you consider what intelligence can do, when it encounters a new situation, it starts to enumerate different possibilities. It emulates, it imagines what will happen if it will do one or another sequence of actions. But ChatGPT works more like a mapping from inputs to outputs. And this mapping, it approximates the inversion of the thinking process. It's basically like a skill, like a reflex, like an instinct. It is very important for AGI to have efficient skills, but it's just not enough to do anything what intelligence can do.
Yeah, and basically intelligence is not everything.
Exactly, so still some work to do. If anybody has any questions at this point, please feel free to raise your hands and we'll get a microphone to you. So yes, this gentleman here.
Thank you. Okay, my name is Paulo. I'm from Banco do Brasil. And my question is, do you believe AGI will come about a combination of deep learning techniques and about the AGI? Do you think, how do you think we will be able to limit its autonomous decisions when we are talking about the ethical problems that can come?
Well, basically, I don't think we have a technical possibility to limit these things, and but we need some higher order organizational way to control this.
The question contained a few components, like deep learning, for example. So basically, I agree that it is not possible to fully control AGI, and it will be a bad idea to try and do so. But I would like to emphasize a few things. First, deep learning in its present form is not enough for AGI, and even when we are considering ChatGPT, it was very clear from very beginning that we need some wrappers, at least some wrappers of way to solve some more advanced problems, and such frameworks as length chain, as they wrap up this calls to ChatGPT with prompt construction, with chaining of length chain and so on. But basically, these frameworks introduce symbolic components, but in a very simple way. They add knowledge graphs, but these knowledge graphs also interact with large language models, not necessarily ChatGPT, because there are open source large language models and other proprietary like Cloud 3 from Anthropic. But in any case, they interact via inputs and outputs. But we need much tighter integration of advanced symbolic reasoning and knowledge representation components with deep learning. So deep learning is an excellent tool for learned skills, reflexes, something like this. But for deliberative reasoning, we need a composable representation of knowledges, composable reasoning, world models, and so on. And when we have these symbolic components, it will be they will be much more transparent, interpretable, and maybe not controllable in a sense we would like to, but still we will be able to understand better and to influence more directly what it is doing. It is the first part of this. And the second part of this is, of course, whether it is just deep learning or neural symbolic systems, we still need to train them because they learn. It is has no sense to create a fixed intelligence. It will learn from data. And the question how this data is constructed, how it is prepared, how it is controlled and labeled, it will also influence the decisions made by AGI. And there are different ways, including distributed and decentralized approaches to creation of AGI, which can mitigate, not solve completely, but mitigate these problems which we think the problems are with controllability and so on.
Thank you very much. And just this person one row back in the t-shirt.
Hello, everyone. My name is Marcelo. I think that one great question here would be, do you expect the AGI become sentient sometime? I think it is a more philosophical concern. Or will it still be a model that you probe, but you expect this AGI? Because for ChatGPT, you just probe the model, right? It does not learn with interaction with me. I think you expect that all the humans interact with this model, and the model learns with the interaction with us. We can feed more information, right? Then it becomes general in this aspect. But I think his concern is, do you expect it to be sentient, to have a will? Thank you.
Well, this question is once again multi-component. The first part is about possibly um, subjective experience and the free will. There is a known hard problem of consciousness, and it's a bit. It's difficult to talk about subjective experience in scientific terms because science is dealing with objective reality, with facts, and so on. But we believe that if something is completely indistinguishable from how it would work if it has consciousness or a sentience, then we would agree, we will act ourselves like it is conscious, because when we talk to robots which act like human beings, our own psychology forces us to suppose that these robots do have this. So it's more about social relations and our own perception of AI and AGI. And many people at the beginning who started talking to ChatGPT, they were also confused. Of course, when you talk a little bit more, you understand that there are different limitations. And here we go to the second part of your question. So yes, these models are not learning in the course of interaction. They are pre-trained. But it's not a fundamental limitation, it's a technical limitation. Of course, we can imagine a situation when such or more advanced cognitive architectures will learn, and we do consider this as our role at SingularityNET, because we depart more from cognitive sciences and agencies, or such systems will have a long-term memory, and in cognitive architectures there are different types of memory, like episodic memory, procedural memory, declarative memory, and so on. And these components should definitely be connected to reasoning and decision-making processes. So yes, it is quite possible, and we actually think that it is nearly inevitable that AGI finally will be a sentient being.
Any further questions? Yep, this person here in the front row.
Hi, my name is Alex. I was hearing in your first, in your answer to the first question, I get the feeling that you also think that it will probably not be Claude 4 or Claude 5 or ChatGPT, GPT 7 or 8 until it's like Fast and the Furious and everybody gets bored. It will probably be more like the LLM ops frameworks that will maybe drive the path to AGI, like agentic behavior, stuff like that. Because you were mentioning LangChain a lot, so is that probably something that we should watch out for more like the open source scene driving the way to AGI, or will it be in the end just the big players because they just created an insanely large model, like with insanely many parameters, or will it be like different new aspects of connecting everything together? So I don't know if that even was a question. Sorry. Like,
yeah.
Do you think the solution to AGI will be like there's like a certain number of parameters and there's like it's like a event horizon kind of thing, and after that it's just gonna be AGI, or will it be new architectural things on top of these models that will, you know, like new stuff like merging models or like global peer-to-peer model training, stuff like that? I don't know. There's like so many things happening right now. What's your point, your take on that? Is that maybe in the end the open source movement that will drive AGI?
Yeah, exactly. What we are doing at SingularityNET, we are producing open source system which is called Hyperon, OpenCog Hyperon. Probably you've heard of it, and by the end of this month we are alpha releasing it, and so yeah, we will attract the community to contribute into this development, and it provides great resource for scalability. AGI is impossible without scalability, and yeah, probably all the humanity should work on it to proceed as fast as we can. So yeah, and basically there is a very complex architecture how all these components work together. We have domain-specific language for these separate pieces, which can communicate to each other. And actually, how our OpenCog Hyperon looks now is kind of language itself. So yeah, it is actually very interesting, and it provides us to include in this system a component of how to call this. Well, there's a LLM component, and it is blown off my head when we have. You know this word.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about, but in any case, I would like to add something on top of this.
Symbolic.
Yeah. In any case, I will continue. So, once again, this question is multi-component, and one part is about LLMs. Will AGI be built on top of them, and will they be proprietary, and so on? So we believe that LLMs are not enough, but it doesn't mean that they cannot evolve to AGI, and say we can add some native rewritable memory to LLMs with some cross-attention heads or whatever else. And big tech companies have a lot of compute power, and they have this possibility to build it first. But as Vita said, there are different ways of doing things. And open source community is, of course, a power. And I would say that it's not only the possibility, but a necessity, because creation of a decentralized distributed systems like this are necessary to mitigate different risks with power, corruption, with biases in data, and so on. So when we are talking about decentralized solutions, we can have a lot of LLMs which can be hosted and trained by different entities. They can be organized in a sort of network, and knowledge graphs can be placed at different nodes of these networks, and a lot of people can contribute to it. It's not only about open source solutions, but of course about open sourcing as well. But the reason is that the whole humanity, the whole AI community can be creating different pieces of this network, and it should be connected in some way, and basically SingularityNET platform based on blockchain is trying to do this as well. So when different groups of people join their powers together, they will be able to create an AGI which will not be controllable by a single entity.
Thank you very much. Yeah, there's a person just here in the back row, if we want to get a microphone to them for the question, just on this side here.
Good morning. My name is Lucas. 2 days ago, you answered a question about the possibility of AGI kill off us. As you answered that it could be a probability, the question is if you have already seen a kind of investment or research interest to use AGI as a war weapon or something like that?
Well, actually, Hyperon is open source, so I don't know how it is possible to use it by a single person to kill us all, but I definitely think that there is a possibility, and yeah, to make it beneficial to us all, not dangerous. Let's cooperate. Let's do it together, and this will minimize risks of different companies to control us.
Yeah, so, but basically, we cannot rule out the risks of using AGI as a weapon, and we need to mitigate these risks not by prohibiting of creation of AGI, because it will be very difficult to do it globally. Instead, we need to work together in a collaborative way on a creation of beneficial AGI for the humanity. But I would like to add a little bit regarding the affairs of killing us all, because there are some ideas that AGI will kill all the humanity just in case. So, okay, it has a goal to do something, but it is afraid that humans will interfere, and that's why killing all the humans is an instrumental goal. I believe it should not be the case for many reasons, because AGI will not be that simple. It will be trained on the data, on some data which we want to control, to annotate, to filter out. So we want to create or raise an AGI in such a way that it will consider humans as valuable, and if it considers humans as valuable, then for what reason it will prefer us as its values over some other values. And I would also add that we shouldn't consider AGI as something omnipotent, because there are physical limitations to what can be done. For example, we cannot predict whether for quite a long period, not because we are stupid, but because it's just mathematically and physically nearly impossible, because we have exponentially divergence trajectories in a phase portrait of weather systems. So even if we put more computational power, we will just predict the weather by 1 day more. So AGI is not a machine. It will not be able to do anything just because it is an AGI. And it will not be able also to fully predict, for example, how the human society will react on one action or another. And that's why I believe it will be one of actors in our society, even if it is very, very powerful, and it can play Go much beyond our capabilities or whatever, but still it has limitations due to mathematics and physics. And we cannot predict right now what some of these limitations are. For example, right now GPUs consume much more power than human brains, so they are very energy inefficient, but we don't know if it will be possible to solve the energy consumption problem to create thermonuclear power plants which will make energy very, very cheap, and it will not be the case. So we should note that AGI is not just a magic. It has the same physical and mathematical limitations as we have.
Yeah, and to summarize, let's be useful to AGI. An educational component is crucial here. So the more people educated in AGI, the more useful we are.
Thank you so much for your question. That brings us up to time. So I just want to thank Alexey and Vita for coming and sharing their expertise with us today. And I want to thank all of you for your questions. It was a really great, informative discussion. So thank you very much. Enjoy your final day of Web Summit Rio, everybody. And thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thank you very much for your questions.